question is like, what is consciousness? I mean, this has been a great question throughout history. You know, where does it come from? Where does it go to? How did, you know, is it simply the result of a particular organization of cells in a particular way? I mean, if our brains are organized the way our brains are organized, boom, consciousness appears, and there's a spectrum of it depending on how sophisticated that organization is. That's kind of how it works with computers. I mean, there's an argument to be made there. But when do you make the transition to something like self-aware consciousness or even cosmic consciousness, you know, consciousness of all life, of everything? And what is love? What does this mean? Is this just a biological imperative, or is there something deeper there, or bliss? And what I'm suggesting in this article, and I lay out the details for it, and I'll just do this very briefly and then move on, is that matter, you know, the physical stuff, the world that you're looking at right now, the atoms that are vibrating in the air that allow you to hear me, the temperature of the room, the clothes you're wearing, the stuff you're feeling, all those things are made out of stuff, you know, out of atoms, out of molecules that are made out of atoms that are made out of subatomic particles, neutrinos and quarks and all kinds of stuff, you know, electrons, protons, neutrons. That matter is actually not a real thing. It's made out of energy. You know, just like an ice cube is well, it's a real thing. It's a state, shall we say. But an ice cube is literally, chemically, the same stuff as water, or the same stuff as water vapor in the air that you can't even see. So matter is just slowed down energy. And this is what Einstein told us. And he said, if you want to know how much energy it takes to create the amount of matter in, say, this fountain pen here, just take the mass of that pen and multiply it times a particular number, the speed of light squared. So energy, the energy, E, that makes up this pen, that makes up the matter in this pen, is equal to the mass times the speed of light squared, mc squared. E equals mc squared. And that formula was proven when they, you know, first blew a bomb and split an atom, and a bunch of matter vanished and a bunch of energy appeared in the form of the explosion. Which then, you know, so that tells us that actually everything in the universe is made up of energy in different states. Some of it is slowed down and frozen into what we call matter. Some of it is loose and free into what we call energy. But then there's different kinds of energy. There's light energy, there's sound energy, there's kinetic energy, motion, there's heat energy, there's X-ray energy, there's all these different kinds of energy. So they exist on a spectrum also. So at the foundation of that, if you could find the most subtle energy, the energy that all the other energies are made of, and thus all matter is made of, you would have the original primordial substance that is the entire universe. That if you could see this particular stuff that is the foundation of all energy and thus the foundation of all matter, if you could see that stuff, the universe would look solid. It's everything, it's everywhere. So then the question is, what is that? Proposing is consciousness. That the universe came into being when this consciousness, kind of blinked, became self-aware, and boom, you've got, the creation, the Big Bang. And that therefore, everything is imbued with consciousness. That we're all just in different states, in different moments of consciousness. That what I call my self-awareness consciousness, or any other form of consciousness that I experience. When I die, it's still going to be here. It's going to be part of all the consciousness that is, because that's all it is. It's just my little tiny expression of it. Just like if you're watching me on a television or listening to me on a radio that's picking up a signal or demodulating a digital code off the internet, the device that you're using is sort of like, me right now, my body and mind expressing consciousness. Your computer or your radio or your television is expressing this program. When the program stops, or when my body stops, there's still the energy around there. The structure, the infrastructure is all still there. The energy doesn't go away. One of Newton's laws, right? It's neither created nor destroyed. Although, Einstein kind of modified that by saying, well, actually energy can be liberated from matter, but yeah, it's not created, it's not destroyed. It only changes state. And so the leap that I'm making, and there are entire schools of science around. There's a big conference in Italy just a few months ago about panpsychism, about this idea that this physics idea that the universe is made up of consciousness. And so I wrote this article actually, a couple of months ago. I've been playing with it. And in fact, I might even go in and edit it this afternoon, I'm not sure. But it's titled, Can We Tap into Creation's Original Consciousness? And it's over at wisdomschool.com. Just thought you'd find it interesting, just FYI. Meanwhile,